Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. If you're new here, welcome. In today's video, I'm gonna show you another dupe of the Huda Beauty New Nude palette, and the palette we test out today is called Pink Violet. Now, this palette I recently found on Amazon and I purchased it for about £7. As you can see, the colors are exactly the same as the Huda Beauty New Nude palette, but some of them are in different order, and the concealer shade that you normally have with the Huda Beauty palette is this time just a skin toned powdery shade, which is quite a relief because I think I can say it on behalf of the world that we hate that concealer shade. Obviously, this palette is coming from China. However, they do claim to be cruelty free. It contains 1 gram of product per pan, so that gives you 18 grams of product overall. And the shelf life on it is 12 months. The Huda Beauty palette has also 12 months shelf life, and all over you receive 19.7 grams of product, which is slightly more than the Pink Violet palette. Overall, the palette, however, is a lot smaller and significantly lighter than the Huda Beauty palette, which could be due to the huge heavy mirror the Huda Beauty palette has. I'm gonna now include the swatches of these shades to show you how they compare to each other. As you can see, this is definitely not the best dupe that's out there for the Huda Beauty palette. So just based on the swatches, I can already tell you that this one is not going to be the best dupe that we have. Nevertheless, it is a very affordable dupe. So if you guys decide that you wanna give this one a try, I would definitely not hold you back from doing so. As you can see, the outer packaging is really beautiful. There is this blonde girl on it who really reminds me of Katy Perry. She looks very similar to her. Obviously, what they were trying to go for here is the same look that Huda has on her packaging. And yeah, overall the packaging looks really nice. Like I said before, the inner packaging looks cool as well. There is no mirror in this one, but never mind, I never really use those mirrors anyway, so that doesn't bother me whatsoever. I think the packaging is really alright. The price point is really alright as well. However, as you can see, this eye was created using that palette and it just doesn't compare to the original. And because of the really good dupes we have on the market, I definitely wouldn't recommend you going and picking up this one over those ones. So nevertheless, I wanted to review it for you because I want to give you a picture of all of the dupes available on the market to see what's good and what's not. I wouldn't say this one is a bad dupe, but it's a really meh dupe in my opinion. Without further ado, I'm gonna jump right into creating this eye makeup look to show you how I did it, and then I will tell you my final thoughts about these two palettes. So as per usual, I'm gonna be applying the more affordable palette on this side of the face, which is today the Changeable Pink Violet palette. And the more expensive palette on this side of the face, which is today the Huda Beauty New Nude palette. And as always, I'm gonna start with applying some MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly. And I'm always gonna start the look on the Huda Beauty side, simply because that is the palette we're comparing to. I'm gonna take this soft crease brush, and first I'm gonna put down the shade Tickle, because this is a nice light shade that is similar to the colors we're gonna be working with, so it's a nice base for those shades. First I'm gonna start at my crease and I'm gonna be blending it upwards. I also feel like this is definitely going to be a look that will need some eyeshadow shield. So when I'm finished with this color, I'm gonna go on and apply those. So the thing about these Huda Beauty shades is that they are quite dry. A lot of them are quite dry, but very similar to the Subculture palette from Anastasia. I feel like they are dry, but if you have the right base and if you have the right brush, you can very nicely blend them out, and they are definitely very buildable. So that is the shade Tickle so far. I don't want to go any further than this because this is just gonna be the background shade. And most of the shades in this palette are in the same order, so it's actually quite easy to find which one is which one. The dupe for the shade Tickle is gonna be the shade Fairy Tale, which is in the same position. The pigmentation on this one is definitely not amazing. The good thing is that it seems like you can build it up, so I guess I'm just gonna need to keep going until it's done. Alright, I think that looks alright. Now to clean it up a little bit, I'm gonna take some of the shade Bear just on the same brush, and all I'm gonna do is apply some of that near the brow bone. You don't need to be too precise with it because all we want to do is just basically make the brow bone stand out a little bit. And this shade in the Changeable palette is also called Bear. So now I'm going to take some of that shade and just do the same. Okay, now like I said, I'm going to add these shadow shields because we're gonna be working with some dark colors, and even in the Huda Beauty palette these dark shades tend to have a lot of fallout, so just to prevent the catastrophe I'm gonna apply these. And now taking a shorter, more dense brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Spanked, which is significantly darker than the previous shade, and I'm gonna start applying that basically all over the lid. Today's look is not going to be anything artistic or extraordinary. It's just simply going to be a look that I haven't done yet because I don't want to keep recreating the same looks again and again. In the Changeable palette, it is in a slightly different location over here, and it's called Wandering. Again, it is less pigmented, but I feel like if you keep building it up, you can definitely get there. Now I'm gonna take the shade Kinky, which is again quite similar. It's almost like a shiny version of the shade Spanked. So I'm gonna take some of this one now, just on my finger, and I'm gonna add that to the center of this. I like this shade Kinky because it performs really well. This color in the Pink Violet palette is in the same location and it's also called Kinky. And again, I'm gonna take some on my finger and just apply to the center. Yeah, this shade seems quite similar to the original one. The color payoff is good as well. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this small brush and I'm gonna dip it into the shade Love Bite, which is the darkest color in this palette, and I'm gonna apply Love Bite to the inner and outer corner. In the Pink Violet palette, it's also called Love Bite, but it moved location. It is the last shade in the palette now. And now I'm gonna take the original brush and I'm just gonna try to blend the edges because I feel like it's looking a bit messy right now. Okay, and now comes the main attraction, which I'm already terrified of because these glitters gonna go everywhere. I'm gonna use my finger to take some of the shade Excite, and I'm gonna apply that shade right in the center. As you can see, we have a lot of fallout with this shade. And in the Pink Violet palette, this color is called Bliss. And I'm gonna take some of that one and apply it to the other eye. This one feels less like a straight on piece of glitter, and it's definitely significantly less shiny, less reflective. So the Huda Beauty glitter is significantly better. The rest of the colors weren't that bad though, which is very surprising considering the swatches we just had. I really want to add something to brighten up my inner corner because so far this looks quite dark and dull. So I'm gonna take some of the shade Daydream and see if I can use that one on my inner corner. This shade in the Pink Violet palette is called Dream World, and you're gonna try to do the exact same thing on this side. So the color itself is not bad, but I think it's darker than the other one because it doesn't seem to brighten up my inner corner at all. So anyhow, I'm gonna go off camera now, finish the rest of my makeup, and then I will be back to tell you my final thoughts about these two palettes. Okay guys, so this is the finished makeup look. Sorry if the white eye pencil is a little bit overwhelming, I just sometimes don't know when to stop. But let's talk about the eyeshadow palettes for a second. So once again, this is the Huda Beauty side and this is the Changeable Pink Violet side. Now the Pink Violet eyeshadow palette is not a horrible dupe. I do think that there are better dupes out there, especially the You Can Be Aromas palette, which is exactly the same as the original Huda Beauty palette or sometimes even better. So in a world where we have You Can Be, I don't think there is a need for this eyeshadow palette because quite honestly, these two eyeshadow palettes, the You Can Be Aromas and the Changeable Pink Violet, cost the same money and will take the same amount of time to get here from China. It is not a bad palette. You can create nice eye makeup looks using it. I do really like that even though most shades start out quite not opaque and not pigmented, they are still buildable. On the other hand, it is not the best performing palette, so it's definitely not the best dupe I have seen for the Huda Beauty palette on the market. That's it for today guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already because I would love to have you here. And until next time, take care of yourself. I will see you very soon. Bye.